Pole position was set by Michael Schumacher, 1 minute 21.908. Now that's the benchmark that the teams this year are looking towards. The main change is in fact between Kamsa corner and La Chiaxa. Last year we had the Nissan chicane, a tyre chicane that was a temporary setup. That has now disappeared. It is a straight run from Kamsa down to La Chiaxa. That part of the circuit much quicker, but of course the changes, the technical regulations to engines and to aerodynamics, that's countered some of that speed gain. But I would expect to see times drop all the way down to, well, Michael Schumacher, 1 minute 24.083. That was his time this morning. I would expect to see times below that by the time this 1 hour session finishes.
We're looking now at Gianni Morbidelli, the Italian. He's fourth fastest at the moment, but he's only really just beginning his first fastest lap. Not quite as promising this morning as normal, but probably wasn't out at exactly the right time. He found himself down in 18th fastest position after that free practice session. Well, Morbidelli finished 13th at San Marino last time out. Qualified 11th. He's had some good qualifying performances, always just outside the top 10 so far this year, and that's certainly very promising for the team.
Well, really, it comes back to one thing, and that's budget. And any team that is short of budget really has to cut their cloth to suit the amount of budget they have. And Mika Häkkinen's car being pushed into the scrutineering bay to have that car checked. And he'll then be made pushed back into the garage. Mika Häkkinen currently quickest, completed 4 laps, 1 minute 25.914. And that's some 1.8 seconds slower than we saw from Schumacher at the end of this session this morning. Of course, still only 4 cars on the track. The big guns, Benetton, Williams and Ferrari, waiting and watching and trying to learn a little bit from what they've seen from, in fact, we're now joined by Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the first of the 2 Saubers. And Frentzen, he was 7th quickest this morning. Teammate Carl Wendlinger spent a long time in the garage. He had lots of problems. He got out, completed 11 laps, but all the way down in 19th place.
Certainly a big improvement in form for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. They found some time at Imola in testing, and quite a few of the major teams did a 4-day test after the Grand Prix at Imola, and it was a test at which Ferrari came away pretty happy because Gerhard Berger was the fastest. It was only by a fraction of a second from Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill. But of course, testing is one thing, qualifying is quite another, and the battle today is very likely still to be between Ferrari, Williams and Benetton for that pole position.
And that battle for pole position is going to be the highlight of this afternoon's qualification, and 24 hours on Saturday, it's going to be the same. But Gianni Morbidelli, he's got one of the biggest hearts of any racing driver in Grand Prix racing. And he's a man, I'm sure, that in the future, a lot of teams, and some of the bigger teams, the more well-financed teams, must be very impressed by what he's done with the equipment. Brian Hart's V8 engine, of course, powering the Footwork chassis. But Morbidelli always happy, always positive, something not always the case with 4 leading lights in Formula One.
Well, Footwork did a little bit of testing themselves in the gap between Imola and Spain, and that was done at Silverstone. And in fact, they've also announced that their official test and reserve driver now